The world woke up to a bombshell that nobody saw coming. In the early hours of the morning, an anonymous post hit social media, claiming to reveal the last message ever sent by Khadiyah Lewis, and it wasn't just a simple goodbye. The leaked message set off a chain reaction, tearing through the love and hip-hop Atlanta community and leaving fans, friends, and even haters in total shock. As the cryptic words began to spread, whispers quickly turned to outrage. Did Khadiyah predict her own fate, or was she sending out a warning to someone close? Emotions ran high as rumors exploded about what really happened in her final days. Some insisted the message was a desperate cry for help, while others speculated it was a confession or even an accusation. But the biggest shock of all came when young Jock, barely holding back tears, broke his silence and went live to share his heartbreaking confession about their complicated past, unfinished business, and the guilt that's now haunting him. Was there something between them that the world never knew? What secrets did Khadiyah take to the grave, and why is Jock finally ready to talk? Buckle up, because this is the story nobody was prepared for. And it's about to change everything you thought you knew about love, loss, and betrayal in Atlanta. The chaos started before the sun even came up. Phones buzzed in the dark as fans woke to the news Khadiyah Lewis's last message had been leaked, and nobody was ready for what it said. The words, shared by a mystery Instagram account, felt like a punch to the gut. If anything happens to me, don't believe what they knew. Like, what they knew. What they say, remember who I was. Tell Jock, I forgive him. Those lines sent the entire Love and Hip Hop Atlanta universe into meltdown. By the time breakfast shows picked up the story, hashtags were already trending, and group chats across Atlanta were exploding with questions. Was it a warning? Was it an accusation? Or was it something even deeper, a final act of love? Or a secret none of us ever saw coming? Young Jock was the first to break his silence. Went live on his page, his voice trembling, eyes rimmed red. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I'm not even sure if I should be talking to y'all right now, he said, looking straight at the camera. The world watched as he choked out a confession. There's things me and Khadiyah went through, things nobody knows. If I could go back, I'd do it all different. Fans were stunned, with thousands pouring into the comments, demanding answers, comfort, or just someone to blame. Emotions ran high, with some supporting Jock and others lashing out, accusing him of hiding the real truth behind Khadiyah's final words. As the story spread, old friends and former castmates started to weigh in. Carly Red posted a cryptic tweet, "Some people get what they deserve, even if it takes years." Mimi Faust jumped into the fray, writing, "This is what happens when secrets stay buried too long. Pray for the family." Within hours, the entire cast was caught up in the whirlwind. Some rallied around Jock, insisting he was just as much a victim as anyone else. Others whispered that there had always been something off about his relationship with Khadiyah, that their love was more about pain than passion. By noon, group chats among the cast were reportedly on fire, with old betrayals coming back to the surface and everyone picking sides. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, Khadiyah's family was trying to keep out of the public eye. But even they couldn't avoid the circus. Paparazzi camped outside their home, desperate for any statement, while fans left flowers and handwritten notes at her front gate. Inside, her sister reportedly collapsed in tears when she read the message, whispering, she knew. She always knew. The family was divided. Some believed Khadiyah had been in danger. Others thought she was just overwhelmed by the pressure of fame and heartbreak. One cousin, speaking anonymously to a blog, said, "This wasn't just about Jock. There's more. A lot more." The pressure was mounting. Industry insiders revealed that Khadiyah had been working on a tell-all memoir before her passing, a book that promised to expose not just her own secrets, but those of the entire lhhatl cast. A publishing source leaked she was ready to burn bridges. She wasn't scared anymore. Rumors of unfinished chapters, locked diaries, and secret recordings started to circulate. Fans scoured the internet for clues, convinced that someone was trying to bury the real story. There are people who would do anything to keep those secrets hidden. One fan tweeted, their post quickly going viral, "Jock's confession only. Fanned the flames." Hours after his live video, another clip surfaced this time. A heated argument between Jock and khadiyah, filmed just weeks before her death. In the shaky, secretly recorded footage, khadiyah's voice can be heard rising. "You think you can control me, but you can't. Not anymore." Jock's response is muffled, but the tension is electric. Fans analyzed every frame, convinced that it held the key to understanding what really happened between them. Some said it was proof of a toxic relationship, while others argued it showed two people desperately in love, fighting for something they couldn't save. The cast wasn't the only group thrown into chaos. Fans formed into rival camps almost overnight, #Team JOC and #Justice4KHADIUA. On Twitter, accusations flew. He was the only one she reached out to before the end. He knows more than he's saying. Stop blaming Jokyul, don't. Know what he's going through? Hashtags trended worldwide as fans took sides, some defending Jock, others convinced he was hiding something dark. Message boards filled with wild theories, and even longtime viewers who thought they'd seen every reality TV twist admitted that this drama was on another level. Inside the Love and Hip Hop production offices, executives were scrambling. A source claimed that producers were reviewing hours of unseen footage, desperate for anything that could explain khadiyah's final message. "If we find out we missed something that could have saved her, none of us will ever forgive ourselves." One staffer reportedly said, "Meetings went late into the night. Legal teams reviewed contracts and tried to figure out what, if anything, could be aired without crossing the line." Some argued that airing the full truth was the only way to honor khadiyah's legacy. Others feared it would destroy too many lives. As the day went on, more secrets began to spill. An ex-boyfriend of khadiyah's came forward with shocking claims, saying she'd been afraid for weeks, receiving anonymous threats and strange phone calls. She thought she was being watched, changed her routine, stopped going out at night. She even changed her locks, he told a local reporter. The story blew up, adding fuel to the growing firestorm. Fans demanded answers: who was threatening her, and why hadn't anyone protected her? As night fell, Atlanta was a city on edge. Vigils popped up outside her favorite restaurant, fans holding candles and sharing stories about khadiyah's kindness and strength. But even as people mourned, the sense of mystery only grew. Text messages and voicemails leaked online, painting a picture of a woman in crisis, reaching out for help, but not sure who to trust. In one message, she begged a friend, "If anything happens to me, don't let them blame Jock. He's not the villain, not this time." But another voice memo, reportedly sent just hours before her death, was more cryptic. "The truth will come out. It always does." In the midst of all this, young Jock posted again, this time a photo of him and khadiyah together, captioned simply, "I'm sorry." The comments exploded. Some fans forgave him, some blamed him, and some just begged for the real story. But with every new rumor, every leaked message, the lines between love and pain, guilt and innocence became harder to see. The only thing that was clear: the truth about khadiyah's last days was messier, more complicated, and far more heartbreaking than anyone ever expected. As the dust barely settled on the chaos of that first day, Atlanta seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the next revelation. Overnight, the mysterious Instagram account that leaked khadiyah's last message started posting cryptic update screenshots of text conversations, blurry photos of handwritten notes, even a video clip that looked like it was filmed in secret. Every post sent fans into a frenzy, with the comment sections turning into war zones. Who's running this account? Is this really khadiyah's writing? Why won't Jock just tell the whole truth? Suspicions grew wilder by the Some swore it was a member of the cast trying to stir up drama for ratings. Others believed it was someone much closer to Khadiyah herself, desperate for justice. Meanwhile, inside Jock's world, things were spiraling out of control. The confession video that was meant to bring peace only seemed to drag up more questions. His phone was flooded with calls and texts from old friends, castmates, even total strangers all, demanding answers or offering their condolences. Some messages were supportive, "Stay strong, Jock, we know you loved her." Others were laced with accusations. "How could you let this happen?" The pressure was relentless. Even Jock's own family was feeling the heat. His mother, reportedly, broke down in tears during a private family dinner, begging him to stay away from social media and focus on what really matters: healing, not headlines. But Jock couldn't escape the storm. Every time he tried to defend himself, his words were twisted, turned into new fuel for the rumor mill. At the same time, former Love and Hip Hop castmates were trading shots on social media. Carly Red, never one to stay quiet, went live on her page, hinting that Khadiyah's story isn't over. "There are people out here acting like they've got clean hands, but trust me, everybody's dirty." Her words sent fans scrambling through old episodes, searching for clues in the background of scenes, convinced they'd missed something all along. Mimi Faust chimed in, warning everyone to respect the dead, but also pushing for the truth to come out. "If you know something, say something," she said, her voice shaking with anger. It was clear the old alliances were crumbling, replaced by suspicion and fear. In the middle of all this, Khadiyah's family made a rare public statement, pleading for privacy but also for justice. "Khadiyah was more than a reality TV star. She was our daughter, our sister, our friend. Please, let her memory be about love, not rumors," the statement read. But their plea did little to slow the wave of speculation. Bloggers released exclusive interviews with neighbors and ex-boyfriends, each with their own version of events. One claimed Khadiyah had been planning to leave Atlanta for good. Another swore she was on the verge of exposing a scandal that would shake the whole city. While the world picked over every detail of Khadiyah's last weeks, young Jock found himself haunted by memories. He stopped answering most calls, locking himself in his home and spending hours scrolling through old texts and photos, searching for a sign he'd missed. Friends tried to reach out, but he pushed them away, unable to talk about Khadiyah without breaking down. In private moments, he confessed to one close friend, "I keep thinking maybe if I'd just picked up the phone, things would be different. Maybe she'd still be here." The guilt was suffocating, but the drama only intensified when another bombshell dropped. A close friend of Khadiyah's who had stayed silent until now came forward with a voice memo Khadiyah sent just days before her passing. In the shaky recording, Khadiyah's voice is raw, on the verge of tears. "I'm tired of pretending everything's fine. There are things happening you wouldn't believe. I just want peace. Something happens to me, tell my story. Don't let them twist it." The recording spread like wildfire, sending the internet into another tailspin. Was she talking about Jock, the show, or was there someone else behind the scenes pulling the strings? Soon, fans started digging into Khadiyah's past relationships, searching for anyone who might have had a reason to silence her. Old rivalries from the show resurfaced, stories about jealousy, betrayal, and bitter fights that never made it to air. One former cast member hinted that Khadiyah had once been threatened by a producer who wanted her out of the picture. Others said she'd been feuding with a powerful business figure who resented her growing influence. Suddenly, the tragedy wasn't just about a broken relationship. It was about power, secrets, and the dangerous world behind reality TV's glitzy facade. Meanwhile, the Instagram account dropped another twisted series of screenshots from what appeared to be Khadiyah's unfinished memoir. The pages were messy, full of corrections and crossed-out lines, but one paragraph stood out. "People think they know me. They see the smiles and the fights on TV, but they don't know the price I've paid for fame. The things I've lost, the nights I've cried alone." Someday I'll tell it all, and maybe then they'll understand. The heartbreak in her words hit fans hard. Hashtag Justice for Khadiyah began trending again, with thousands demanding an investigation, a full public reckoning, and an end to the lies. Inside the love and hip-hop world, panic set in. Producers reportedly held emergency meetings, debating whether to release unseen footage that might explain Khadiyah's last days or bury it for good. Some argued it was their duty to share the truth, while others feared a backlash that could ruin careers and end the show forever. The cast was split, with some begging for transparency and others threatening legal action if their private moments were exposed. Through it all, one question haunted everyone. What did Khadiyah really mean in her last message? Was it a cry for help, a warning, or a final attempt to find peace before the end? And if the truth was as dark as some suspected, would the world even be ready to hear it? As the second week drew to a close, one thing was certain: the story was far from over. And with every new leak, every confession, and every tearful memory, the world braced for the next revelation, knowing that sometimes the most shocking secrets are the ones hiding in plain sight. By the start of the third week, the city of Atlanta wasn't just buzzing, it was vibrating with tension. You couldn't set foot in a coffee shop or scroll through your feed without hearing someone dissecting the latest leak in the Khadiyah Lewis saga. Fans were glued to their phones, desperate for the next twist, while the industry insiders circled like sharks, eager to turn heartbreak into headlines. The mysterious Instagram account, which had started out dropping cryptic hints, was now releasing full-blown receipts, screenshots of emails, videos of heated arguments from unreleased reunion specials, even voice notes supposedly left by Khadiyah herself on the night everything went wrong. The biggest bombshell dropped on a Tuesday afternoon, when the account posted a grainy video, barely 2 minutes long, but enough to shake the fandom to its core. The clip showed Khadiyah looking visibly exhausted, sitting in a car outside a club. Her voice trembled as she spoke to the camera. "They keep saying I'm crazy, that I'm making stuff up, but the truth is, I'm tired, so tired. If anything happens to me, just know it was never an accident." Within minutes, the video was everywhere. Fans flooded the comments, some pleading for justice, others accusing Jock or even the producers of the show of covering up the truth. Inside Jock's world, the pressure was becoming unbearable. He stopped appearing in public, his usual swagger nowhere to be found. Friends reported he was barely eating, refusing to leave the house or answer calls from producers. But the rumors wouldn't stop. Some claimed he was in hiding. Others said he was about to do an exclusive lhhatl interview to clear his name. Paparazzi camped outside his home, snapping photos of a man broken by grief and suspicion. Every headline seemed to ask, is Jock guilty of more than heartbreak, or is he the only one brave enough to mourn Khadiyah in public? Meanwhile, the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast was thrown into chaos. Its production on the next season was suddenly put on hold as more cast members demanded to see the unreleased footage of Khadiyah's final days. Arguments broke out behind the scenes, with some stars threatening to quit if their private moments were aired without consent. One insider revealed there's stuff on those tapes that would ruin careers, maybe even lives. At the same time, a former producer stepped forward anonymously with a shocking claim. Khadiyah was about to expose something huge. Not just relationship drama, real crimes involving big money and bigger names. The allegations sent the internet into overdrive, with fans combing through every available clip, hunting for hidden clues. The drama spilled over into real life when a group of Khadiyah's supporters organized a protest outside the network's headquarters, demanding transparency and justice. They carried signs that read, "No more secrets," and "Let Khadiyah's voice be heard." The network responded with a carefully worded statement. It's promising to honor Khadiyah's legacy while also protecting the privacy of those involved. But for many, it was too little, too late. Trust had been shattered, and the hunger for answers was stronger than ever as the city raged. More family drama came to light. A cousin of Khadiyah's, previously unknown to fans, did a tearful interview on a local radio show, claiming that Khadiyah had been scared for her life and had confided in her about enemies in high places. Other relatives painted a picture of a woman under siege, juggling fame, fear, and betrayal. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided. Some still blamed Jock. Others believed he was a victim of the same forces that had haunted khadiyah. Private. Jock finally agreed to meet with one of Khadiyah's closest friends, hoping to find some peace. The conversation was raw and painful. "She loved you, you know," the friend said, voice trembling. "But she was so scared at the end. She felt alone." Jock broke down, confessing that he'd tried to reach out but was shut out by the walls Khadiyah had built around herself. "I wish I could go back," he whispered. "I wish I could fix it." The moment was captured by a hidden camera, leaked hours later by the same Instagram account, sending fans into a fresh spiral of speculation. All the while, the anonymous leaks kept coming. A new batch of messages revealed that Khadiyah had been in contact with an investigative journalist just days before her death, trying to arrange a secret meeting. "I can't talk over the phone," she wrote. "Too many people are listening." The journalist, now thrust into the spotlight, confirmed that he'd been working with Khadiyah on a story that could have rocked Atlanta to its core. But he refused to say more, citing concerns for his own safety at this point. Fans were desperate for closure, but instead, the lines between fact and fiction only grew blurrier. Conspiracy theories flourished. Some said the network was orchestrating the leaks to keep ratings high, while others believed a much darker force was at play, determined to keep Khadiyah's story from ever coming out. One thing was certain with every new revelation: the legend of Khadiyah Lewis only grew, and young Jock's heartbreak became more public, more painful, and more complicated than anyone could have imagined. The final hours after Khadiyah Lewis' last message leaked felt more like the end of a reality TV season than a goodbye. Cameras weren't rolling, but it seemed like the entire world was watching anyway, scrolling, searching, desperate for any hint of what had truly gone down. Young Jock was nowhere to be seen at first, not even a cryptic tweet. But behind closed doors, the storm was raging, and the pressure was about to explode. Inside the Atlanta home where friends and family had gathered, the air was thick with tension. Khadiyah's last words, still circulating on every social feed, had turned the room into a powder keg. Relatives who hadn't spoken in years found themselves whispering in corners, throwing glances at the front door every time it creaked. Some prayed for peace, others for answers. Outside, fans kept vigil, huddled in groups, candles flickering as they argued over what Khadiyah's message really meant. Was she talking about Jock? Was there another secret? Everywhere you looked, the only certainty was confusion. Then, just when the city thought it had seen everything, young Jock stepped out from the shadows, face drawn, voice rough, his whole body carrying the weight of 1,000 unspoken stories. With reporters swarming, he didn't head to a flashy club or a crowded TV studio. Instead, he walked into the middle of the candlelit crowd, surrounded by fans who had loved both him and Khadiyah, some sobbing, some angry, all desperate for something real. "I can't run from this," he said, voice cracking. Khadiyah was more than a friend, more than family. "We had our share of drama, and I'll never pretend we didn't hurt each other. But what she said, that message, it changed me. I was too late to fix things. I was too stubborn to listen when she needed me most." The crowd hung on every word, and even the haters couldn't help but go silent for a moment as Jock spoke. Khadiyah's sister pushed through the crowd, her face streaked with tears. "Tell the truth, Jock," she demanded. "Don't let her memory become just another headline." For a moment, it looked like he might turn away, but instead he nodded, pulled her close, and finally, for the first time, let himself break down in public. The two stood together, holding each other as flashbulbs snapped, every second feeding the storm online. Inside, more drama was boiling. An aunt accused a cousin of leaking the message for clout. A longtime friend stormed out after being called a liar in front of the family. Old wounds tore open as everyone tried to claim a piece of the story, each convinced they knew the real khadiyah best. "She was my rock," one childhood friend shouted, only to be met with a fierce, "No, you only came around when things were good." Every new accusation turned the night into a tornado of blame and grief, proving that even in death, khadiyah could command a room like no one else. But the night wasn't just about pain. Somewhere in the chaos, people started sharing memories, late-night drives, inside jokes, the way khadiyah would always make time for a friend in need, even when her own life was falling apart. The stories grew louder than the drama for a while, laughter breaking through the tears. "That's who she was," someone said. "Never fake. Always real, even when it hurt." Back outside, fans started reading khadiyah's final message aloud, each voice trembling but determined. They argued about the meaning, sure, but they also comforted each other, hugging strangers, holding hands, making the grief feel a little less impossible. Few even started singing one of her favorite songs, their voices shaky at first, then stronger as more joined in. It was a moment raw, unscripted, full of heartbreak and hope, and it went viral before the last note even faded. As the night wore on, new questions swirled online. Some wondered about the other name mentioned in khadiyah's message, a possible secret boyfriend, a rumored betrayal that no one could confirm but everyone loved to debate. One blog posted an exclusive that sent shockwaves through. The fan base leaked texts suggesting a fight between khadiyah and someone close to Jock just days before her passing. The internet went wild, with fans demanding answers and old enemies crawling out to stir the pot. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided. And as the sun rose, young Jock, eyes red but finally clear, posted a message of his own. "I failed her, but I loved her. Let's do better together." And with that, a new chapter began, not just for Jock, but for everyone who'd ever been caught in the storm of love, loss, and reality TV drama. As the dust settles on one of the most emotional nights Atlanta and reality TV has ever seen, the questions left behind are almost louder than the tears. What really happened in khadiyah's final hours? Who leaked her last message? And was there a truth in those rumors no one wants to face? Did young Jock's heartbreaking confession finally bring peace? Or has it just left the family and fans more divided than ever? Everyone's got a theory, and nobody's done talking. Now it's your turn to join the story. Do you believe Jock's confession was real, or was there more he couldn't say? Whose side are you on as the drama continues? Khadiyah's family, the friends left behind, or Jock, who says he'll never forgive himself? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us, what do you think khadiyah's last message really meant? And what should happen next? If this story hit home, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next twist in the saga. Your opinion matters, and this community is here for every heartbreak, every shock, and every moment you can't look away. Let's keep khadiyah's memory alive by sharing, by supporting each other, and by demanding the truth. No matter how messy it gets, thanks for being here, for feeling with us, and for refusing to let this story fade. This is just the beginning. So, stay tuned, because in the world of reality TV, you know there's always another secret waiting to come out.